else are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to IHIP News. Yes, we are wearing scrubs today. No, we are not medical professionals. It's a long story entangled in our podcast. We've had it with people perpetrating scrub fraud. So a listener sent us some scrubs. And in fact, we are now perpetrating scrub fraud.
And I love them because they have 4 pockets.
Okay, let's get to the news. Pumps. Nikki Haley said that America has, quote, never been a racist country.
That just tells you how moronic and stupid she is because she knows better. She knows better. She's from South Carolina. This is playing to the MAGA base of people that are racist but want everybody to tell them they're not racists. So she's perpetuating that, and it makes me crazy.
This is a woman who has whitewashed herself,
Right.
as well.
Right.
She has changed her name. And why would you do that if you don't live in a racist country? But this is something that I think is super important for all of us to talk about. Pumps and I live in a very red state. And if you were born and raised in a red state like this, you have experienced, not personally, but you have experienced people being racist in racist circles all around all the time. And then you've also seen these same people claim that racism is bullshit and that it doesn't exist.
Right.
And I think it's important for white ladies like Pumps and me to speak out about this. I have, just in the last probably 3 years, I'll give you guys some examples of some racism that I witnessed. And this is what happens in white circles where Black and brown people are not around. I heard a woman referring to, this is when Obama was president, referring to Air Force One as Afro One, and thought it was just a real knee slapper. My son plays for an AAU basketball team, and half the kids on the team are white, the other half are Black. We were raising money to go to Las Vegas to play in a basketball tournament, and we were short some money to pay for all of the kids' airfare. And so I asked a couple of the parents that I knew were well off. I said, I'm donating some extra money, and so is a couple of other moms. Would the two of you like to donate, throw in a couple $100 more so that we can pay for all of the kids' tickets? And this guy, he's a big Christian, big mega church goer, looks me dead in the face and said, I'm not doing that. And I said, why? And he said, because then that would mean all the white people are paying for all the Black people.
Gross. It's just gross.
It's disgusting.
It's offensive.
Disgusting. Recently, this is like the last 6 months, another big church going lady constantly talking about Bible study. I heard her use the N-word, hard R, and said she thinks things are better when white people are on one side of the tracks and Black people are on the other side of the tracks.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious. So for Nikki Haley, who is from South Carolina, to act like she has not heard racism or that she herself hasn't fallen prey to it is bullshit.
It's a lie.
Every white person in this country could be hooked up to a polygraph and truth serum. And we all know that white people can be incredibly racist in white circles. And imagine how they treat Black and brown people when they see them.
That's what's mystifying to me, is that she could say that knowing, particularly in South Carolina, which is also a red state like ours, she sees it every day, everywhere.
Right. And why did you change your name? Furthermore, why'd you change your husband's name? That's weird.
Yeah, that's a whole separate issue, but that's weird.
Yeah. And so this is the kind of crap that makes white Republicans feel good to hear people say that.
Because then they can say, yeah, I'm not racist.
But if you're an objective person, when I hear her say that, it makes me mad.
Oh, yeah.
It infuriates me because I know, I just gave 3 examples, but I'm 49 years old and I've heard this kind of crap in white circles all my life.
And I think the biggest problem with it is you cannot solve a problem or get to solutions unless you acknowledge the problem. And she is sitting there denying the problem. Therefore, she has no solutions coming.
So Nikki Haley sucks. I hate her guts. Moving along.
Next,
Kitten Heels.
poor little Kitten Heels.
Kitten Heels pulls out of the race and immediately doubles down on Trump, of course.
What a pussy.
Total puss. And there was a Florida plan to have taxpayers pay for Trump's legal bills,
Which is infuriating.
Kitten Heels nixed it.
Which is the only thing I've ever liked about Kitten Heels is that he said, fuck that, we're not doing it.
He nixed paying Trump's legal bills.
From taxpayer funds.
Yeah, but I mean,
This is a guy that won't even pay his property taxes correctly. He professes to be a billionaire, and he continues these small dollar donors to pay all of his legal bills, 90% of which he can't keep his fucking mouth shut. He cannot keep his fucking mouth shut, is why he's paying a large majority of these legal bills. And it is offensive to me that, number one, the Florida people would even consider doing this. But I do have to say, I love that little dig at the end by Kitten Heels.
let me tell you something I've had it with. And it is, there's this whole dilemma right now that the press has about how to cover Trump. Should we cover him a lot? Should we not cover him? Did covering him so much help get him elected in 2016 in the first place? And they approach it all wrong.
Always.
You should cover it. He's running for president. He's a former president. And the headlines should read as followed. Former President Donald Trump lied 42 times today at a rally.
Yes.
His lies are pertaining to blah, 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 and stated by fact over and over and over and over. That's why Fox News has been so effective, because they say wokeism.
Right.
They're coming after your kids, the alphabet mafia, the trans are trying to, groom your kids and all this stuff. And they just say it over and over and over again. And none of that is even factual.
Correct.
But it starts to permeate through these cult following that they have because they repeat it over and over. Mainstream media repeat over and over and over. Start the news. Former President Donald Trump was at a rally today in New Hampshire and he lied 97 times, right. Was incoherent, and his makeup was smeared. Go for it. Quit with the both sidesism. I've had it. Okay. This brings me to the fact that we had Iowa and we had New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And right now, the Republican Party is a cult.
There's no question about it. It defies all logic and rational thinking. So it's a cult.
They're anti-democracy, mm-hmm. Anti-economy, because these policies, all this anti-wokeism and stuff is not good for the economy, as we showed a couple of episodes ago on our news stuff, what these policies do to economies like in red states. But he's going to be the nominee.
Right.
And this is who the Republican Party is.
Right.
They look at Trump, and that is what a little bit less than half the country wants. And that just is what it is.
Unfortunately, yes.
And he wants to go after the press. He wants to be a dictator. He's not mentally stable. He's a complete nut. We'll leave all of this up to the psychologists to study, but it is so wildly dangerous that we have to organize and vote like never before. And I will admittedly, Biden isn't super exciting to vote for. He used to be a firecracker, but he's aging. But we all have to vote against this fascism because we live in a state where Christian nationalists run it, and it's not good.
It's not good. Abortion ban America. No trans care, gender affirming surgery, nothing. We have no access to any of that. Women cannot have a D&C if they have a miscarriage because the doctors won't do it because of the law. It is
book banning.
I mean, we cannot let it stand. Whether you love Biden or not, you have to vote for democracy.
Okay. I want to get to what happens in red states when you elect Christian nationalists. So you guys will know nationally, this is what they want to do. An Oklahoma bill was introduced that would require furries, and a furry, for those of you that don't know, some kids like to dress up like cats. They do not use litter boxes at school. No. That was a total myth. So Representative Justin Humphrey, who I'm sure is just a nut to end all nuts, decided to file a bill targeting furries. And in the bill, it says that if a student shows up dressed as a furry, Animal Control Services shall be contacted to remove the student. And I want to remind everybody that these are the people that claim that they're so worried about your kids.
Absolutely.
And they're going to call animal control because your kid has on cat ears.
Right.
Who gives a shit if your kid has on cat ears? This is the stuff they act like is such a big deal.
And it's not even real.
And who cares? I mean, back to the whole gender thing. Why do you care how they dress, what they do, if they change their name? How about they're just a good person? But these assholes, they want, children that get pregnant, that are sexually assaulted to have their babies. And once your baby's born, they're not going to give you any benefits.
No.
And if you take the benefits, they're going to call you lazy. They're going to make fun of you if you're on food stamps. They're going to do everything in their power to shame you and keep you in the poverty cycle. And then they're going to call animal control on you. And this is the Christian religious right. Because like we always say, there is no love like Christian hate. More fuckery going on in Oklahoma. So this is just a snapshot for those of you who do not live in red states, what a Trump presidency will get you across the nation.
Empower all these assholes.
Oklahoma Senate Bill 1699 proposes required gun courses in public schools.
No sex education, but gun training.
Gun training.
Yeah.
They're gonna teach abstinence only.
Abstinence only.
And gun training.
Yep. And then question why we're the last in education and quality of life and all of those things. Because ridiculous people are making ridiculous rules.
Okay, then there's another bill that they proposed that they want to make journalists get licenses and drug tests.
What?
Yep.
That's ridiculous. A license to be a journalist and you have to take a drug test. So they're trying to create a situation where people won't abdicate against them.
It's unconstitutional.
Well, absolutely it is.
They know that one of the roadblocks that they have to keeping the masses dumbed down and putting through all of these horrible ideas, they know that one of the full stops on that is journalism and the transparency in journalism. And so they're attacking women's bodies. They're attacking gay rights. They're attacking a kid that wants to wear cat ears. Now they're attacking the press. This is a snapshot of our deeply red state. We have a Christian nationalist governor, a Christian nationalist majority Senate, and a Christian nationalist majority House of Representatives. And this is what you get. And Trump won this entire state by double digits. This is what is coming for the United States of America because they've got that nut Moses Mike as the Speaker of the House.
Moses Mike.
And don't think that this is going to be any better with Nikki. There's no such thing as racism.
No.
Haley, who whitewashed herself and bizarrely changed her husband's name. Freak. All right. Speaking of Moses Mike, so this is kind of a good tidbit. Marjorie Pumps his favorite crazy person.
Besides Trump. I mean, she's 1A.
She spoke with Moses Mike on Friday, threatening him with a motion to vacate over the border deal he struck with Democrats. Marjorie Greene actually told Steve Bannon in an interview, "In my meeting with him yesterday and many other members of Congress, I let Speaker Johnson know that in no way, shape, or form will I support any type of continuing resolution." So, I mean, you've got within the Republican Party, it's who can out crazy everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
So this is no longer like a two-party country where you have everybody agrees in democracy and maintaining democracy.
And what the basic facts are.
Right. That's over with. And so, I mean, it's just alarming.
Well, everything I've read says that the reason they won't pass a budget plan, like a full, not just the continuing resolution, is they do not want Biden is trying to fund the border security and make policies to make the border more secure, but they don't want that because they want to be able to run on that in 2024. So they want to keep the border open.
Trump actually said on the campaign trail he wanted the economy to tank.
Right. Right.
Which means that people will suffer. They're not even hiding it anymore.
No.
They're saying the quiet part out loud. They want, the immigration system to be as messy as possible. They want the economy to be as messy as possible because they don't give a shit about human beings. They do not give a shit. They care about power for wasps. And that is it. And these people just aren't that smart. But they're dangerous because they're ambitious.
And organized.
They are.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I mean, Kitten Hills, Nikki, Trump, it's
a cesspool.
Uh-huh.
It really is a cesspool.
It really is. And so I think that's all we have for today, if that isn't depressing enough.
If that's not going to do it for you, depress you, I don't know what is.
All right, check out our podcast, I've Had It Podcast, wherever you view your podcast or on YouTube, and we will see you when we feel like it.